Hey, it's Cassie from Curry Honda in Chicopee. You're listening to the Bax and Nagle podcast on Rock 102. Come see us at Curry Honda for the best selection of new and pre-owned vehicles. Experience the best at Curry Honda. Thanks for listening.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 5:50, and Don Henley with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be, and I will tell you in just 1 second.
Take your time.
Cloudy today. Maybe a spot shower or two. High of 50. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43. It's 39 right now in downtown Springfield.
Hollywood Trash is brought to you by Western Mass Masons. Call them for all your foundation and chimney needs.
Somehow you still care about what's happening in Hollywood. So, from Tinseltown, 3,000 miles away, it's Steve Nagle's Hollywood Trash.
Scott Adams, creator of the Dilbert comic strip, passed away from cancer on January 13th. His ex-wife announced his death on his live stream, where he declared his acceptance of Jesus Christ as his savior. Despite his controversial statements in later years, Adams found success with Dilbert and an animated TV series. He faced backlash for his divisive comments, leading to the strip becoming subscription only. Adams continued to engage with his audience until his passing, leaving behind a legacy in the world of comics. I'm sorry, I had no idea he was involved in anything other than making the comic strip.
No, I think he was a pretty busy fella. And this was something that put food on the table.
Yeah, I don't know. The guy died of cancer. It's like, all right, let's talk about all the other crap that he was involved in too. It's like he's dead. I'm sure his family is.
I'm sure they're devastated.
Sad, yeah.
But on the other hand, they've got years of great Dilbert comics that could always go back and remember him by.
Actor Kiefer Sutherland was arrested for allegedly assaulting a rideshare driver in Hollywood. The incident took place near Sunset Boulevard and Fairfax Avenue, where Sutherland reportedly making threats against the victim. The victim did not sustain any injuries, and Sutherland was arrested for making criminal threats. This is not Sutherland's first brush with the law, as he has had a history of DUI arrests and previous altercation in 2009. Sutherland's representatives have not commented on the recent incident, and he was released on bail with a court date set for February. Damn it!
I remember when he was doing some CIA work, and had to, because he was undercover, get hooked up with heroin, trying to protect the president. I mean, he's been through a lot.
Yeah,
you gotta give him credit. He only had 24 hours to get on heroin and then get off of heroin, and that's very hard to do, from what I understand of the heroin business.
I think you're describing, I don't know what movie. What is it? Oh, it's 24. I never watched that show.
You never watched 24? It followed the life of Kiefer Sutherland 24 hours at a time. And the guy, he'd start the day off okay, but by the end of the day, it's like the worst day of work. And he had 7 of them.
Oh.
One bad day of work would be enough for me to either get fired or want to quit. He just kept on going. They must have had a great benefits package.
Was there 24 episodes per season? Is that how they did that? And
yes.
And then the final one was more than 2 hours, or how did that happen?
Sometimes it would go a little bit more than 24 hours. Yeah. Maybe 23 hours and a half. But the purpose of it was to say, you think you're having a bad day of work? Get a load of this guy.
Kiefer Sutherland had a worse day. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift were spotted on a dinner date in Los Angeles, giving fans a rare glimpse into their private life. Really? It's not the song about his penis that gave a good look into their private life?
I'm sure there's more to their relationship than just the enormity of his penis.
The couple was seen arriving at a restaurant in Beverly Hills on Monday, January 12th. Kelce and Swift were dressed in stylish winter outfits for the occasion. Kelce, who recently ended his NFL season with the Kansas City Chiefs, has not confirmed his retirement plans yet. Fans are also eagerly awaiting news of the couple's upcoming wedding. Follow their engagement in August of 2025.
This restaurant, what was it? Chuck E. Cheese?
I believe it was a In-N-Out burger. Because that's how long that relationship's going to last.
In and
out. I was thinking about that yesterday. I'm like, can you imagine, most of the albums that she wrote were about heartbreak and people like crapping on her.
Right.
But now she's happy. I think she kind of jumped the shark when she met this guy.
That last album she came out with did very, very well, and she was happy when she was singing about a guy's penis, for crying out loud. I mean, what could make her happier?
Which, I mean, she's going to in order to be popular again, she'll have to divorce him, and that album will be fire.
Probably.
I'm thinking. Taylor has also made a generous donation to Brad Paisley's nonprofit organization, The Store, a free grocery outlet in Tennessee. The donation will help the store continue to provide groceries to families in need with dignity and choice. Taylor Swift also made donations to various other organizations, including Vanderbilt University's Medical Center Children's Hospital, Operation Breakthrough, the American Heart Association, Feeding America, Music Cares, CMA Foundation. At least she's doing something good with the money.
I don't want to say this, but I recently also made a very large donation to a grocery store chain.
Yes, but
it was called Weekly Groceries.
Yeah. What was the name of the store?
I'd really rather not say. Let's
sure?
just assume that it was a local grocery store in which I spent almost $200 to feed 2 people.
Well, you should shop at Aldi's then. Or
I do go to Aldi's.
So that's where they took all your money?
No, I also had to do some stuff.
Yeah, see, that's where you went
at another
wrong.
Grocery store that it didn't sell what I needed at the Aldi's.
So you just got to curtail your budget and just solely shop at Aldi's.
No, I was there to make a charitable donation.
Or Price Right. What did you round up at the end for the? Can you round up for our CEO? He needs a new jet ski.
No, I will not.
The Adam Peaty Family Feud. Have you heard of this?
I've heard of the Family Feud.
Has taken a new turn as relatives feel being portrayed negatively in a Netflix edit following his recent wedding to Holly Ramsey, daughter of Gordon Ramsay. The swimmer's family rift has escalated with concerns that their side of the story may not be heard. Peaty's family reportedly feels excluded from the wedding except for his sister Bethany, and tensions are high following an incident involving his brother in Budapest. Man, Gordon Ramsay just can't escape controversy, can he?
Honestly, he's always he's an agitator.
Yeah, he's a big agitator. Hey, Kim Kardashian has new finger piercings.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, she must have something to say.
Oh my God, the last time I had a finger piercing was when Ray J went looking for loose change when Ray J went shrimp dipping in the Rusty Wookie in that sex tape you can purchase on YouPorn for $39.95. Caitlin was supposed to say the other one.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of which.
There you go. I never got that down and dirty with your mother, Chris Kim, but I once looked for loose change in the payphone. That's what you were trying to say. We did the doggy and fed her kibble and spits.
Yes. What are you trying to say?
What I'm trying to say is I enjoyed a nice deep dish Philly finger pie.
Go on.
You should see the cheese stick. Oh, your mother. And that is your Hollywood trash on Rock 102.
Monster. And now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as of right now, there are 10 head coaching positions available in the NFL. 10 of them. There also happens to be 5 teams looking for new general managers and 10 vacancies around the league for offensive, defensive, and special team coordinators. That's a total of 25 available positions. And while those jobs offer competitive pay and excellent benefits, the downside of working in the NFL is you don't get to stay there forever. Yesterday, for example, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin announced that he would be stepping down from his position after 19 seasons on the job. 19 consecutive winning seasons. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl championship, that was a long time ago, and not a single playoff win in 9 years, including Monday night's loss to Houston in the AFC wildcard game. This is a guy who was the longest tenured head football coach in the NFL up until yesterday afternoon when he suddenly wasn't. It now leaves Andy Reid of the Chiefs as the longest-serving active head coach in the NFL after 15 seasons. It also leaves Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat as the longest currently active head coach in sports, having held that job for the last 18 years. Now, I happen to be a big fan of regular paychecks. Paychecks that arrive every 2 weeks and are directly deposited to a federally insured financial institution. So if you were to ask me to drop everything I'm doing to become a head coach in the National Football League for any available franchise, my answer to you would be not just no, my answer would be hell no. Listen, according to my calculations, I have approximately 2,069 days left to go before I can retire from this godforsaken business. In that span of time, the 10 teams that are currently hiring in the NFL could blast through another 30, 40 coaches by then. I think I'm being conservative, too. Either way, I think I'm better off staying put and milking this sucker for the next 2,069 days. I think that's a much safer choice. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know what you can fit into a 27-gallon storage tote at Rocky's? 27 gallons of crap that's been piling around your house since Thanksgiving, maybe even earlier. Rocky's Shelving and Storage Totes. On sale right now. It's like a home decluttering starter kit. Available now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 6:11 and Bon Jovi with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be cloudy today, maybe a spot shower or two with a high of 50. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds and a high of 43. Looking at 39 right now in downtown Springfield.
Could be a pretty interesting show. Later on today after 7 o'clock, we'll be talking to actor, singer, producer, potentially mob-involved entertainer Johnny Russo. Yeah. He's going to be coming to Figaro's on January 30th. Great show. He's been through the area before. His storytelling is absolutely amazing. So we'll be talking to him after 7 o'clock, and also be talking to someone from the Springfield Symphony. Got a great show coming up in the next, I believe, this weekend. So we'll be talking to someone from the Symphony a little bit later on.
Cool. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, the Gianni Russo stuff. I don't know if you've ever seen like the TikToks or the YouTube videos, but you watch these videos and you just, all I can think is, this didn't really happen to this guy. And then you find out, no, actually it did. And most of what he has said has been absolutely confirmed by other sources.
I like the Bobby Kennedy strangled Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, that's an interesting good theory. Story. Yeah, or what happened to Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah. He kind of he's heard some stories.
Who is Jimmy Hoffa? Oh, just kidding.
No, most people know who Jimmy Hoffa is, but Johnny's got some stories to tell. We'll talk to him in about an hour from now.
One of the best billboards I ever saw was on the New Jersey Turnpike by Giant Stadium, and it was a History Channel, and it just showed a picture of Jimmy Hoffa plus an arrow pointing down equals question mark. Find out on the History Channel. I thought that was a pretty good marketing.
That's pretty good.
Yeah. How much do you comment on videos or like on when you go online? Do you comment on things?
I would say I have I have scaled back quite a lot.
Right, and usually when you do, it's just like a joke or whatever, to kind of thing. But do you go out of your way? Like, if you don't like something, do you go out of your way?
No,
to talk about how terrible something is, or obviously everything is subjective, so not everybody's going to like what's put up.
I'm not there to be critical. I'm there to crack wise, and that's about it. Tell a joke, and that's it.
There's a couple of types of people that first of all, I put these stupid videos up, what the town names and whatever. Mm-hmm. It is what it is. I mean, we have to do a lot of these videos for work. They want us to do something. So I figured, we'll try to put a little creativity into something.
It's your hook.
It's a hook, or is it's like, it's
a series.
It's series of things, whatever. So I do these stupid town videos, and not some of them are funny. I get that, and some of them are not. But how much are you willing to go out of your way to tell me that it's not good?
I don't have it in me. I don't know if it's like a genetic thing or a DNA. I just don't know. Maybe it's just like a moral imperative.
Yeah.
If you're going to do a video, and I'm not just you, or just like in general, could be anybody, and they're trying to be like entertaining or funny, the last thing I'm going to tell you is you're not funny, you're not entertaining.
Right.
You know what I do? I
just scroll
past it and try to find something else that might be funny and might be entertaining.
I also unfollow things if I don't think they're good. You know what I mean? Like I just because I don't want to. If I don't want to see it again, I'm like, I don't want. I'll just unfollow that or get it out of the algorithm somehow.
I rarely unfollow, but if I do, it's usually someone who, their last 15 posts are nothing but political ranting, regardless of what that ranting might be. Unless I actually know you personally, I'm going to ignore or block you.
Right. But for the most part, you just don't care.
I don't care.
Right.
That's really what it boils down to.
And when I do these videos, I don't know if you know this, but I'm making it up.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought the stories you tell about these towns were actually historical fact.
And the people, so yesterday, I'm like, this one guy, the video is about Shelburne Falls, and my take on it was there was a woman named Shelley who had an STD from Athol, and she had the Shelley burn, and the dumb whatever. It's just a dumb concept.
They're all plausible.
It's true. I mean, have you ever spent some time in Athol? There is a slow burn from that.
There is if you spend too much time.
Yeah,
You will feel uncomfortable if you're in there too long.
So I say, the woman from nearby Athol, and then this guy writes, Shelburne Falls is nowhere near Athol.
Says the Athol who just made a comment.
Right. Well, I mean, he's right. I mean, it's like 44 minutes away or whatever from Shelburne. But that's kind of the point of the video. Is it's supposed to be made up and fake?
Yes.
So I just wrote, I think you're making that up. Right. and then this one guy, he writes, really, that's your wort bit.
Wort?
I think he meant worst. So I just replied, asterisk worst. And then he wrote, quietly, you actually bring your kids there for food and do the lame walk around town. You're a silent loser. Y-O-U are. So then I just responded, asterisk, Y-O-U apostrophe R-E.
So you are actually trolling the troll.
Yeah. Oh, and the other guy deleted his comment. I wish I had that on there. Damn it.
Well, what was the gist of the comment?
It was something, you're not funny. It was like this whole, try better. This is not funny. You're unwitty and like all of these things. And then he clearly deleted the comment because it's not there now. It was there earlier this morning.
Right.
But maybe he sobered up and realized, hey, maybe I look like a dink.
Yeah, maybe you do because you see some of those videos that you've done.
Yeah.
Have gotten 20, 30,000 views.
Like 500,000 views.
Some of them have, yeah. I mean, not all of them, but yeah, there've been a couple of them that have broken the 500,000 mark. So,
but it's all like what catches on, and if people are more privy. Like the Palmer video did really well because there's a lot of people who we make fun of Palmer all the time, and so that kind of
Here's the thing I don't really understand. If you're that guy that feels that you need to point out to somebody who's attempting to be humorous that they're not funny, and you did that to every comment you saw on the TikToks, you do nothing all day but making comments on every video that they're not funny. Because 90% of stuff that's on TikTok is not funny. But occasionally you find something that is, or entertaining, or whatever intrigues you some way. Do you make comments on everything? And why are you focused on Steve Nagle from Rock 102?
Well, that's the other thing. It's like you hate me enough, and fine if you don't like what I do. I don't
follow.
Don't follow it. And how does it wind up in your algorithm if you're not following it? Obviously, if you are saying this is a terrible thing, then you enjoy terrible things. Your feed must be filled with terrible things.
I think what happens is that some of these trolls, what they think they're doing is they think they are helping you in some way. Like, like the confrontation is good for the algorithm. And I want people to follow me. And if I'm blasting out negativity, then somehow that benefits them. Yeah. I think it makes them look like an a-hole, frankly. But that's but that's just me.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I can't get in the mind of these people.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not worth getting in the mind of these people.
Maybe it's not.
But it's just like, all right, well, you don't like it. Why are you taking the time to comment on it?
You know, it's weird. So I've been posting like a series lately, classic rock hot takes.
Yeah.
And I'm putting a little bit of effort into it, and there's some editing that needs to be done or what have you. I'm getting in like 500 maybe of people, but the comments are largely positive.
Right.
I need some people to be bad-mouthing me on these things, because I think that probably is good for the numbers.
And that's the other thing I don't think they understand. Like you just said, they don't understand it boosts engagement even when you write something negative on it.
Yeah.
So, thanks. I don't know.
I guess. I mean, thank you for your cruelty.
I wonder why, like how people, like these people must be miserable in their lives. So miserable. Like I need an outlet for my depression. And the first video I came across today was some stupid town video from Steve Nagle. Right. I'm going to give him a piece of my mind. You know what? You're just mad at your dad, and I get it. Like, it's okay. You can cry. You can let it out.
It's okay.
It's okay, and I'm glad I can be a punching bag for you.
And your tears are largely in silence, since you're not really out in the public, probably in the basement, doing laundry, maybe in a tub.
Yeah.
You're not really doing very much with your life except finding ways of trolling Steve Nagle. What does that say about you?
Well, waiting for his next meal with a neighborhood cat.
Eating over the sink like every other lonely person in your town.
Well, I just kind of wanted to point that out. These people are there's something else.
It's 6:22 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 6:27. And the Stone Temple Pilots with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
The weather forecast, since Liam is sleeping again. Cloudy today with a high of 50. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43. It is 39 right now in downtown Springfield.
If you have not downloaded the Rock 102 app by now, and I don't know why you wouldn't, because it's absolutely free. You can put it on your iPhone, your Android, doesn't matter. But if you put it on your phone right now, you could win tickets to see New England take on Houston this Sunday, January 18th. And Rock 102 wants to send you to the game. Just download the Rock 102 app and enter before noon on Friday for your chance to win a pair of tickets to the game. Little incentive to be a part of Rock 102's app. It's your chance to see New England take on Houston for free, just like our app from Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
Well, there you go.
That is a great thing, a great prize.
It is a great prize. We give away great prizes.
We do. Well, yes, we do.
We are the prize. We're giving it away for free,
according to some, but not to others.
Well, why don't you just wasn't Jerry Seinfeld said to Kathy Griffin? Why don't you just give it up? You're horrible. You're terrible. You ready to laugh?
I am ready to laugh.
It's Bax and Nagle's Joke of the Day.
I'm funny how? I mean funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
On Rock 102.
I make you laugh.
Springfield's Classic Rock.
Just bought some new shoes from a drug dealer.
Oh, yeah?
Not sure what he laced them with, but I've been tripping all day. Oh, my God. Out of my mind.
A shoe joke.
A shoe drug joke.
6:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Geisler's. Tell them you got it at Geisler's. There's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thanks, Bax. South Hadley crews were called to the Joseph Muller Bridge on Tuesday afternoon to rescue a person in the river. The South Hadley Fire Department stated at approximately 3 p.m. that fire and emergency crews were sent to the area of Canal Street to assist with a person in the river. The bridge was blocked to oncoming traffic during the incident. The condition of the individual is currently unknown. 22 News has reached out to the South Hadley Fire and Police Departments is waiting to hear back. Updates will be provided as more information becomes available. Couldn't get a call back.
Yeah. Who knows?
A Huntington man has been ordered held without the right to bail following a dangerousness hearing held in Westfield District Court last Wednesday in connection to a stabbing in Westfield. The Hamden DA's office states that allegedly on November 21st, officers were called at around 11:20 a.m. for a report of a stabbing at 37 Elm Street in Westfield. When officers arrived, they determined a person had entered the business, stabbed another person multiple times, and left the area. The victim was taken to the hospital and survived their injuries. Police say that this was a targeted attack and believe there was no threat to the public. Gaslight Barbers recently underwent new ownership with a ribbon cutting held in September. It's owned by Wilton Royal, a lifelong resident of Westfield. The suspect was identified as 48-year-old Jose Alvarado of Huntington, who was located in Huntington and taken into custody with the assistance of the Mass State Police. Alvarado has been charged with attempted murder. A district court judge ordered that Alvarado will be held without the right to bail pursuant to Mass General Law 276, Section 58A. You know that is. That's
no.
a danger. And he's been charged with attempted murder, assault and battery with a dangerous weapon causing serious bodily injury, and mayhem. Alvarado is due back in court February 6th for a pre-trial hearing.
Now, this happened at the barber shop?
Yes. This is really not going to be good for the quartet.
The barbershop quartet may be hesitant to start singing again. I just wonder, was it the cut that was bad? Was he tired of waiting around? Did he not have an appointment?
Yeah, maybe the wait was too long.
Well, that's why you should have called ahead and made an appointment. That's a lot of barbers do it these days.
I said high and tight.
Now you made it low and loose.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. I am very upset with this haircut.
Listen, I've had some bad cuts in my day. It's been a long time since I've had a bad cut. But the last time I had a really bad cut, I didn't want to start swinging or pulling out, weapons. It was not, it's just hair. It's going to grow back.
I had a bad cut myself when I razored. I used a rusty razor, and I cut my head wide open.
Why would you using a rusty razor?
It wasn't rusty. It was just
like old,
older. Yeah, that's all I had.
Yeah, that's
it. I figured I could do it, and then I wound up taking a giant chunk out of the top of my skull.
You gotta switch those things out. Once a week.
Yeah.
Even if you're not using it all that much, once a week. They get rusty. They get you can't do that.
You absolutely cannot do that.
No.
2 suspects were arrested at Sea Park in South Hadley in connection with cocaine possession last week.
I believe it's pronounced Canal Park.
Have you ever been there?
No, but I'm pretty sure it's Canal Park.
The South Hadley Police Department stated that on January 5th at approximately noon, officers were conducting a proactive patrol of Sea Park. This park has been known to police as an area where drug activity occurs, and it stinks. Officers observed a vehicle in the area.
Man, there they go selling the sizzle of it again.
Yep. Officers observed a vehicle in the area that was known to them due to recent contact. A motor vehicle infraction reportedly occurred as it exited the park, and police conducted a traffic stop. Upon speaking to the occupants, officers observed clear signs of drug use. What is that, like you got it all over your face like a powdered donut?
Yeah, right. A lot of people saying man a lot.
Yeah. South Hadley police searched the vehicle based on probable cause and located the suspected crack cocaine. Both suspects admitted to using crack cocaine at Sea Park.
I believe it's called Canal Park.
It's crack. They're smoking crack at Sea Park. Bax, do you not know anything about this area?
Well, no, Steve. Maybe there needs to be a video posted on the TikToks.
You know what? Maybe I'll go do a video about Sea Park.
There you go.
Yeah.
Who would want to see that?
See if anybody takes issue with that.
Someone's going to take offense to it, I'm sure.
Probably. South Hadley police asked that residents observing suspicious activity in town parks contact the department. If you or someone you know is struggling with addiction, you can contact the South Hadley Police Department Drug Addiction Recovery Team, or DART, for assistance and resources. Some bad things going on in that Sea Park.
Canal Park.
Whatever.
I'm just trying to help. That's all.
You're doing a great job. I appreciate it.
Hey, listen. I do my best,
and that's all we can all do.
That's all I'm willing to do.
I was thinking about that little triggered a memory there, the powder around the face kind of thing.
Yeah.
I had a dog when I was a kid, when I was like a teenager, and we had the way our house was set up was like there was a doorway to the family room where he was allowed to roam, roam freely in the thing. And because he was another kind of dog that would grab food if you left it out. So, separating the kitchen from the family room, there was a door that you would close, right?
Okay.
And one day, my mother had left donuts on the table.
Oh boy!
Right?
Yeah.
So now the door was closed to the family room, and then we come home, and all the donuts are gone, and the box is on the floor. Yet the dog is in the family room, sitting on the couch like nothing happened. He had powder on his face though, so we knew it was him who ate the donuts. But what he did was paw his way to the other doorway.
Yeah.
Went up the stair because it was like a you could go all the way around the house.
Yeah.
Up a back stairway, and he went up the back stairway, came down, ate the donuts off the table, went back up and around, and somehow managed to get the door closed enough so it looked like it was fully closed, but upon further inspection, it was not.
So this dog's like
smart.
This is a professional. This is a professional job.
Oh yeah, but he was like, he's like sitting on the couch, like, what are you talking about? I didn't eat your donuts. Yeah, what about all that powder all over your face?
I can't speak for a dog because I'm not one, but I know when I've eaten close to a full box of donuts, I can barely move. Never mind, retrace my steps. Closed door. I mean, I'm gonna be lying down on the floor, maybe a couch, perhaps a comfortable chair, but I'm not moving around the house after packing down a full box of them.
You know what I won't say. I forget. Anyway, the Massachusetts State Bomb Squad recently assisted Northampton Fire Rescue with a potentially dangerous device believed to be part of an anti-theft system from an old safe. The Massachusetts Department of Fire Services states that the incident raised concerns due to the possibility of releasing a noxious chemical. The unknown device was reported by a resident who dropped it off at Northampton Fire Rescue. Emergency crews identified that attempts to breach the safe could lead to the release of harmful substances. Oh, like a James Bond type of thing.
Oh, yeah.
You try to break into the safe and then you get poisoned with gas?
Sure.
Emergency crews identified the attempts to breach, which prompted the involvement of specialized teams for safety management. Upon assessment, it was determined that the substance within the device was a form of tear gas, which could cause injury or illness if it had been released. The bomb squad and the Joint Hazard Incident Response Team took precautions to secure the tear gas for safe disposal, ensuring public safety while handling the hazardous material. And then 22 goes into, what is tear gas? According to the CDC,
oh my God,
riot control agents, also called tear gas, are chemical compounds that temporarily make people unable to function. It does this by irritating the eyes, mouth, throat, lungs, and skin. Riot control agents are used by law enforcement officials for crowd control. It is also used by individuals and the general public for personal protection. If you get exposed, leave the area and get fresh air, since breathing in riot control agents is the primary way of exposure. Really?
Yes. Have you ever been unclear as to what tear gas is?
I don't know exactly what the chemical makeup is. And I know pepper spray is pepper.
Right.
Like, cayenne pepper or whatever they put in there. Tear gas, I think, is a different type of chemical, but I don't know what the chemical is. But I know the function of it.
That's it. But that's all you really need to know is that if you get sprayed with tear gas, it probably makes your eyes tear up.
And here is the best piece of advice 22 News has given. Quickly moving to an area with fresh air is highly effective in reducing exposure to riot control agents.
Or here's an idea. How about staying away from the riot?
Yeah, but this isn't even a riot. This is a guy who is protecting a safe, clearly, and if you put the wrong combination in the safe, boom, the tear gas would go off.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying, there are ways to avoid all these things by not putting yourself in the position in the first place.
Every day when I do something and then you come up with some logical answer.
Yeah.
Who do you think you are? Seriously. You and your,
what's
and
wrong
your
with
logic and your reason.
What's wrong with bringing a little reason into a radio show?
Everything.
Well, I had no idea that you wanted me to sit here and be stupid all day.
We are supposed to be completely unreasonable.
No, I don't think we're supposed to be entertaining and informative. And since we can't be either one of those things, then sometimes, throw in a little, reason, a little bit of, common sense is a refreshing change of pace.
Yes.
That's what I'm here to provide. An occasional change of pace.
At least 2 Starbucks employees have been fired after a coffee cup with a pig drawing was served to an L.A. County Sheriff's deputy last week. Those that were involved have been separated, a Starbucks spokesperson told KTLA on Tuesday. What do you mean? They took them apart piece by piece?
Yes, they ripped them apart, drawn and quartered.
The January 9th incident, which occurred at a Starbucks in Norwalk, was condemned as offensive by the Sheriff's Department, as law enforcement officers are often referred to as pigs in a derogatory manner.
Now,
the type of pig that you would find on a bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich.
Let me look directly into the camera.
Yeah.
Okay. Did you see the picture of the pig?
I did. It was cute.
It was an adorable pig.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not like a pig with a cat with a cop hat on it, or like pig with like a SWAT jacket. It's just a pig just enjoying a cup of coffee. I'm sure it was all a big misunderstanding. By the way, I don't really need a message on my cup at a Starbucks. I don't need some sort of heartwarming type of affirmation. I just really want my coffee and to go.
I told you when I went to go get my Starbucks, when I had that gift card, because I can't see spending actual cash at Starbucks.
Yes.
I had this gift card that somebody gave me, and I went to go, and it was right around the time where they started doing that whole, every cup is going to have a personal message on it.
Yeah.
Well, then I look over, and I see the girl making my drink, and I see all the cups she's got lined up. She wrote the same exact message on all of them. That's not a personal message.
No, it's actually that's actually impersonal in a way.
Right, but it's almost like a company forcing you to do videos.
Yeah.
And then just trying to get whatever out there.
Not for nothing.
Yeah.
The other day, because people posting stuff on the socials, they want us to be doing that and everything. So I had ordered a coffee at a Starbucks, and I took a picture. I said, well, that'll shut them up for a while, and I posted the picture. You wouldn't believe how much blowback I got by not going to a Dunkin'. And
Why?
instead. Because New Englanders prefer Dunkin'. Now I thought I had a very reasonable response to that. I was at the Starbucks in Ludlow.
Yeah.
And I said, listen, not for nothing, but that would have for me to have gone to to Dunkin' at that particular time would have required me to drive to the other side of the street, and I was not going to waste costly gasoline to do so.
It's a little clunky over there anyway.
It's not
it's a clunky intersection.
It's hard to get out of the Starbucks, but that's where I was. I was on that side of the road. In order for me to go to the Dunkin' would have required me to get in the left lane, take a left, and get over there. And that was not going to happen based on the amount of traffic that was there at the time. And I got eviscerated for having a Starbucks. I spread it around, dude. I mean, I go to Dunkin', I go to Starbucks, I'll go to the Socialite on Allen Street, I'll go to Shelburne Falls every now and then. I got a bunch of places that I go to.
You know what I've noticed is there's good Dunkins and bad Dunkins. There's certain ones you stay away from.
Yeah.
And then there's certain ones you go to. You know what I mean? This one's a better one. I'm not really sure that's the best one to go to anyway.
Well, oddly enough, it doesn't necessarily matter whether it's a nice part of town or not. I found that
it's
sometimes
not about the nice part of town. I'm talking about the quality of the products that come out of there.
I know.
Yeah.
Sometimes, but even the service is better at some of the more surprising areas. Like there was a 24-hour Dunkin' that I used to go to all the time on my way to work. Lady couldn't have been nicer. She was an absolute sheer delight. 4 o'clock in the morning, offering me coffee in the middle of Springfield. You're like, well, this could potentially be dangerous. Hell no. I felt like I was in good hands.
That's kind of my point.
But sometimes I go to like a Dunkin' and say like a Longmeadow or a Wilbraham, and I don't necessarily feel like I'm getting 100% attention.
Yeah, but see, you're distincting it between town-wise. I'm just distincting it between the quality of service. Yes, there are certain ones that have really great employees there who put the time and effort into making whatever product that you're ordering, like a drink or whatever. But then there are some where it's like, like I walked out of one because the kid was he was scooping the ice with the cup with his bare hand. And I said to him, no, I'm not taking that. And he's like, what? And I go, you can't, there's a reason there's a scoop. And he's like, well, the scoop's not working, or what, I don't know if it was broken or whatever happened with the scoop. And I was like, yeah, but you just put your hands in the ice. So now your hand has touched that ice. That's going to melt all over the other. I don't want that. It's kind of gross.
It is disgusting.
Oh, look at the time. It's 37 in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 6:53 in Queen with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today. Chance of a shower later on this afternoon with a high of 50. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43. It's 37 right now in downtown Springfield.
Rock 102 and the Springfield Thunderbirds want to hook you up with slap shots and shish kebabs. It's got to be a great night of eating and hockey. You can score a $100 gift certificate to Nadim's Downtown Mediterranean Grill and a pair of tickets to see the Thunderbirds take on Toronto at the Mass Mutual Center on January 23rd. We'll choose one lucky winner at random on the 19th. It's your chance to win slap shots and shish kebabs from Springfield Thunderbirds and Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
All right.
All right. That's a great night. Going to Nadim's and hockey. Perfect.
Did you see this new Barbie doll they got out?
Is this the Barbie doll that is the autistic Barbie doll?
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out what makes it autistic.
So the description I saw is there are apparently like the eyes do not look straight. They look to the side because apparently some autistic people cannot necessarily have straight eye contact. And there's some other things involved, too, that Mattel is putting together. It's frankly kind of offensive.
I was going to say, how do these things even get out of like a boardroom? Or even, there's always somebody, remember we used to have those think tank meetings?
Yes.
Where somebody would come out with an idea and we're like, what? What are you talking about? That's a
but we
dumb
would say,
idea.
but we would start the meeting off by saying it's a brainstorming session, so there are no bad ideas.
Yes, but there's tons of bad ideas.
Yeah,
and then somebody would come up with a bad idea, and you wouldn't necessarily be like, "No, that's stupid." It would just be like, "Okay, we'll consider that." And of course, everybody's like, "There's no way
we're considering that.
We're considering that at all." The launch of the first autistic Barbie doll has been welcomed by campaigners as a step towards more, quote, authentic, joyful, unquote, representation for neurodivergent children. The doll features design choices intended to reflect experiences to which autistic people might relate, including loose clothing to ensure less fabric-to-skin contact and an eye gaze slightly to the side, as you said.
Right.
Autistic youngster Penelope, who is 5, was part of the research for the doll, and her mom, Tanya, said she uses ear defenders, so to see that on a doll really made her feel special. The National Autistic Society estimates more than 100 people are autistic, and there are at least 700,000 autistic adults and children in the. This is from the UK. But from what we know about autism, there's no panacea. There's nothing that covers all.
No, it's a spectrum. So like there's
things.
certain things that apply to certain people and certain things that don't. Listen, I have no problem with inclusion in these kinds of things, but the reality is This is a doll which is supposed to elicit creativity and imagination in whoever owns it.
Right.
So if I'm a kid and I happen to be on the spectrum and I'm playing with a Barbie doll, it is likely that through even my own imagination, however I decide to play with something, I could apply.
You might pretend that
they are autistic without having to pander to a specific condition. I mean, to me, if you allow the kid to use their creativity, that is how you include whatever the doll may be.
Yeah, I find this kind of insulting to people. Like, again, because there's such a broad definition of what that is that you can't just put one doll to represent all of that.
I kind of agree with it. To me, I understand why they want to do it, but I also think it's unnecessary when a kid's imagination is really what should be encouraged here.
Yeah.
At regardless of who that kid is or what condition they have, we'll allow them to play with that toy in a way that fulfills their need to play.
Who's moving up the Mattel chutes and ladders over there at the business office now?
I mean, I used to have like G.I. Joes as a kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't have bought I'm sure my parents wouldn't have bought a G.I. Joe that was like I don't know, say like the overeating G.I. Joe or the dishonorably discharged G.I. Joe or the G.I. Joe that, for whatever can't pass algebra G.I. Joe. I mean, that would have, to me, that would have been insulting if I had gotten one of those. I don't need a mathematically challenged G.I. Joe to make me feel better about my own issues.
What about Bone Spur G.I. Joe, who didn't go into battle?
He wanted
to avoid
dodging G.I. Joe.
Draft dodger G.I. Joe.
I didn't go because my dad's a senator.
Yeah,
right.
All right. Anyway, well, there you go.
6:59 at Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, yesterday I told you that the NBA had imposed a $35,000 fine on Jaylen Brown of the Boston Celtics for criticizing the officials following Saturday's game against the San Antonio Spurs. That's a $35,000 fine for a guy who makes just over $25,000 an hour. 2 nights later, Celtics head coach Joe Mazzulla was asked by the press to talk about why they lost to the Indiana Pacers on Monday night by a score of 98-96. His answer came down to just 2 words: illegal screen. Apparently, Joe was upset because, in his opinion, Indiana's Pascal Siakam set up a screen at the top of the three-point arc, causing Derek White to lose his balance. Pascal gets the ball back, pump fakes, steps inside the foul line, hits a shot with 6.1 seconds left to play. After the game, Joe Mazzulla was asked 6 different questions from reporters about it, and in each case he gave the same 2-word answer: illegal screen. Yesterday, the NBA announced that despite Mazzulla suggesting that referees should have called for an illegal screen, that Joe Mazzulla was right, that the Pacers did in fact set up an illegal screen before landing the game-winning shot. So how do the Celtics and Joe Mazzulla benefit from this sudden change of heart? Simple. By agreeing that the referees were negligent in failing to make the proper call, neither Joe Mazzulla nor the Boston Celtics will have to pay a $35,000 fine for criticizing the officials. Instead, they can just go about their business and wait for the next round of lopsiding officiating to take place. Perhaps that'll come as soon as tomorrow night when the Celtics continue their 4-game road trip against the Miami Heat. Either way, no one is changing the final score of the Pacers game. No one has put an asterisk next to the box score. They're simply not going to find Joe Mazzulla for being right. Of course, they fined Jaylen Brown earlier this week, and he was right too. But hey, you can't catch all the breaks. Sometimes you just got to eat a big old thick fat stack of mouth-watering hypocrisy to play this game. And right now, it's the Celtics' turn at the buffet line. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. Will the kitchen look good in Essex green? How about tangerine? Get Benjamin Moore 8-ounce color samples, 50% off at Rocky's. You can paint a wall French press or Chantilly lace. Half off 8-ounce color samples right now at the paint store at Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock.
Springfield's classic rock. It's 7:12 in Fleetwood Mac with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today. Could see a spot shower or two this afternoon with a high of 50. It's 37 right now in downtown Springfield.
Gianni Russo has come through the area on a number of occasions, and he's coming back to Figaro in Enfield on Friday, January 30th, a night of songs, stories, and supper, brought to you by the Springfield Country Club. If you don't know much about Gianni, he was Carlo in The Godfather. You may recall that he may have backstabbed Sonny on the Causeway. But he's also got these amazing stories that have been told in books and could be in a movie at some point. And he's on the phone with us right now. It's Johnny Russo. Good morning, Johnny. How are you?
All right, thank you, my man. I'm here.
Yeah, I know you're here. You're going to be coming to the area. Going to be at Figaro's Restaurant in Enfield. Good food. Going to have a stories, songs, and supper with Johnny Russo. What's the show going to be about this time?
Well, this is taking you chronologically through my life. It's amazing. I got all the film clips with Sinatra, Marilyn Monroe, and now that James Patterson wrote this book, The Last Days of Marilyn Monroe. He basically verified everything I've said in the last 63 years, including who killed her. Which is,
I know there's a huge story about that. But, it's funny because there's been a bunch of videos on like TikTok and YouTube where you're in it and you're talking about your life. You're talking about all these stories, and every time I hear you talk, it's almost as if, how can one guy have experienced this much stuff in the course of 80 some odd years? It's remarkable what you've experienced, what you've seen, who you've known, everything you've been a part of. It's incredible.
But the good news now is, like I just said, James Patterson verified it. So George Gallo, who's did Midnight Run and 25 other films, he wants to do a major feature film about it. Because when you think about it, you talk about the President of the United States, the Attorney General, and Marilyn Monroe. You can't get bigger than that as far as the subject matter.
No, absolutely not. And I know there's a story. I mean, you've talked about Marilyn Monroe and what happened at the end of their life. I mean, what can you say about that?
Well, what I know I could say now, because James Patterson verified it, is that they say in the last 5 chapters of that book that Bobby Kennedy smothered her and threatened the housekeeper and her family if they spoke, they'd get killed. So I mean, and they got Noguchi, they got the coroner's reports. I mean, it's crazy what they put into this thing, but I love it because now it's just giving me a property that's so valuable. Because before it was only just my hearsay.
Yeah.
But his investigation teams just took it to another level, fortunately.
Johnny, I don't know if I believe that the Kennedys would be involved in some sort of scandal.
I mean,
I met Joe Kennedy when I was 17.
Yeah.
Because he and Frank Costello, the man who basically raised me. In fact, I'm living in his house right now on 61st Street. He left it to me in 73. But Joe Kennedy and he, in the 30s during Prohibition, amassed $30 to $50 million each in the 30s. Joe Kennedy, and don't forget, we're talking about Joe Kennedy, who had his only daughter get a frontal lobotomy because he had no respect for women.
Well, you know what they say, Johnny, I'd rather have a bottle in front of me than a frontal lobotomy. Am I right? All right. One of the great things about when you come and do these shows is the reviews afterwards, and about not only just the experience. A lot of people have many different experiences throughout a lifetime, but it's not just your experiences. It's the way you tell the stories that keep people so enchanted by you. It really is like watching a real life soap opera kind of unfold when you tell these stories. I think that's a great gift that you have in order to engage people like that. Yeah.
I'm glad I'm not senile. You know, I was always worried about getting dementia. Then my act is over.
Well, you still got time.
Listen, there's a lot of guys on the road still got dementia and still selling tickets, so I don't think you have anything to worry about.
Yeah, well, I know some of them, too. I feel sorry for them, actually.
Yeah.
You have to work at that under those conditions. Forget about it.
This is Johnny Russo. Stories, songs, and supper coming to Figaro's in Enfield on the 30th. You know, we've talked to you before about some of the things that you've been a part of, but also some of the people that you were really close to. You know, Frank Sinatra being one of them. Tell me about your relationship with Frank Sinatra.
Well, it was funny because when I was 7 years old, I got a transistor radio from my Uncle Carlo, meaning Carlo Gambino. I thought he was really my uncle, but that's what we did in the neighborhood. Mm-hmm. And my floor nurse was his niece, and he sent me a transistor radio. And when I turned it on, December 12th, I'm hearing all about this guy Frank Sinatra. I'm already been in the polio ward a couple of months and getting depressed. I stayed 5 years. I was part of Jonas Salt's experiment with the polio vaccine. But I related to this guy immediately, never meeting him. But if he did this from Hoboken with humble beginnings, his mother a barmaid, his father worked hard shipyard, I thought I had a shot. And fortunately, 5 years later, I meet him at the Copacabana while he was doing a sound check. And I told him my story, and we stayed friends forever. I'm the only guy in the world that can say Frank Sinatra was my singing teacher and Marlon Brando was my acting teacher. How could I go bad?
Not that long ago, there were some stories that came out about the NBA and about the mob involvement in gambling and getting some of these, getting people to be a part of these poker games and these, you'd have these NBA players kind of you'd be the ones that entice these real rich guys to be a part of it. I know those kinds of stories are not new, but are you surprised that they're still going on, even today?
Well, you know what the problem? I knew this for years and years and years. These guys, they get tied into games, they set them up, but the good news about that gives them an opportunity, the NBA, to they're not throwing games, they're shaving points. That's what it's about.
Right.
And that's how they're making a ton of money. So they get these guys hooked. They get them locked in for about a couple of $1 million, and how they're going to pay it off. So they do a couple of adjustments, and everybody wins. But no, I mean, when there's gambling, there's always going to be crime. I don't care what anybody says. And I think it's destroying the young today. Look at the way they could bet. They could bet anytime, all day long on their phone. They're all broke.
And bet in real time, too. I mean, not just, who's going to win, who's going to lose, or point spreads, but,
they're putting bets by the,
prop bets are way out of control.
Yep.
Yeah. So, as far as the songs go, I mean, you said you Frank Sinatra was your vocal teacher. What kind of music can people expect when they go to Figaro's on the 30th?
Well, I'm going to take you chronologically through it all, and I bought the footage. This show is totally unique. I have Sinatra singing. When I was a teenager, I used to sleep in St. Patrick's Cathedral because it was open 24 hours a day. Then as I got older, I started sleeping in Paramount, and that's I saw Something Like It Hot maybe 15 times while I was masturbating in the balcony watching those kids.
Well, it's a great show. I mean, it is a great. It's hard not to.
Well, this took a turn. In the balcony.
And I used to get free popcorn, and they kept giving me more napkins. I think they caught up what I was doing.
So at least there's no seats on a lower tier at Figaro, so you don't have to worry about that today on the 30th.
Yeah.
So basically,
it's been a long ride and a great ride, thank God, and I'm blessed because I just turned 83 this December, and I'm having fun. I'm traveling all. I just came from Ireland. I was in Dublin for 2 weeks, which I'll never go back in the winter. I mean, I never stopped. I couldn't get warm there. I don't know what it was. I mean, it was just the heat is so cold. I mean, the chill is so cold.
I'm sorry. Can we go?
I'll only go back in May.
I'm sorry, John. Can we go back to the masturbating in the balcony thing again? So Frank Sinatra was your vocal teacher. Marlon Brando was your acting teacher, and you taught yourself to be a straight shooter.
There you go.
There you go. Right.
The show is Stories, Songs, and Supper at Figaro's in Enfield. Great restaurant. Friday, January 30th. You can get tickets at hotmicevents.com. Gianni, great to talk to you. Best of luck, and hopefully we'll talk again sometime.
Please, I love it. Thank you, guys. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
You bet. Johnny Russo with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Rock 102.
It's 7:25 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
You want a real conversation starter in your home?
Yeah, sure.
If you're looking for one of those, maybe a unique flower bed or something like that, you can have it. Or you could own a urinal trough from Highmark Stadium.
They're selling them?
Yeah. The Buffalo Bills and Brandon Steiner of Collectible Exchange have a deal for you. The well-known urinal troughs from the men's room at Highmark Stadium will eventually be available for purchase.
You know, I always kind of wanted that when Fenway got rid of them.
Yeah.
I thought that how awesome would that look in your bathroom?
Are these the elongated ones? The trough?
I haven't been to Highmark, but I mean back in the day when because Fenway had them and they were very long troughs.
One of the weirdest things I ever experienced was at the Syracuse War Memorial, which would be equivalent to like a Mass Mutual Center, the same kind of size, right?
Yeah.
Inside that, in the bathrooms, was a circular like fountain. Like it was round, and you would be like urinating, and then somebody else across from you would be urinating.
Mm-hmm.
That was weird. As they have since eliminated that and renovated the bathroom.
Well, because everyone's kind of like got eye contact while they're doing it.
Yeah,
it's weird. It should be everyone's looking forward and minding their own business.
Yeah, and I would go into the stall on purpose to use to go because I didn't want to be staring at. I didn't want to be staring at hot dogs while I was doing my business.
I
get you. Know what I mean?
Now, let me ask you this: have you ever been in one of those public restrooms where there's the round sink?
Yeah.
And like there's like certain stations of where you wash your hands.
Yeah.
Did you ever get partially confused?
What do you mean?
Maybe that's not for washing hands, but maybe that's an old reach back from yonder year.
Is that what they were for?
I don't think that's what they were. Very much the way you're talking about the old War Memorial bathrooms.
Yeah.
Now you've got these circular sinks in the bathrooms. How many times does a guy who's been enjoying the game go into that situation and use the sink as his own personal toilet?
That's kind of gross.
It's gross, but not any grosser than it used to be when those kinds of things were all over the place.
Well, Steiner discussed selling the troughs with the Buffalo Toronto Public Media when discussing the unique memorabilia. There's definitely the troughs in the bathroom, the founder of Collectible Exchange said. There's some stuff in some of the suites that are interesting, great photos, stuff maybe in the locker room, but the troughs are the real prize here.
Yeah.
Certainly quirky, but also beloved by Bills fans. Buffalo's new stadium across the street reportedly will not have the troughs in the men's rooms. They're partnering. They're gonna be selling $550 a piece. You could get these things for. Who wants a piece of Buffalo history?
That ain't no chicken wing.
No, it is not.
That is not.
That is not.
7:28. We have news next to Rock 102.
Cold weather done.
7:31 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news. It is brought to you by, hold on, don't tell me. It is going to be, yes, Freedom Credit Union. Freedom is yours. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Excuse me. I was yawning a little bit here. I don't know what that was all about. I'm a little tired, maybe. I don't know.
Well, you've had quite a couple of days. All the travel, all the comedy, all the not being funny in Shelburne. I mean, there's a lot to
not
consider.
Being funny in general. There was another guy on the text line who said, what did he say yesterday? He said, I really thought I was going to hear the adventures Mr. Full of Themselves. Listen, Bax, at the current direction the show is going, you're going to lose your job before you can retire. If you had Marty instead of Mr. Funny Man when you retire, the difference would be a lamp made out of old stuff from the office or an Rolex watch.
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know.
Well,
I don't know. Maybe you could do gutter installing. Maybe that's a more lucrative business.
I don't know if I really should be on ladders, but yeah, you might be right about that.
Well, it's something to do. Something as an alternative to this.
Well, let me reset things if I can here. Okay, Steve, it's 7:32. It's time for news brought to you by Freedom Credit Union. Freedom is yours. Here's Mr. Full of Himself, Steve Nagle.
Oh, thanks. See, that's what we should do every time. South Hadley crews were... Thank you, Bax. Thank you, Mr. Rolex Watch.
Hey, no problem.
South Hadley crews were called to the Joseph Muller Bridge on Tuesday
afternoon
to rescue a person in the river. The South Hadley Fire Department stated at approximately 3 p.m. that the fire and emergency crews were sent to the area of Canal Street to assist a person in the river. The bridge was blocked to oncoming traffic during the incident. The condition of the individual is currently unknown. 22 News have reached out to the fire and police departments and is waiting to hear back. Updates will be provided as they become available, which means we'll probably never hear anything.
Probably not.
About that. Let's see. Westfield. There was an interesting story over there. Because too many vehicles park on Westfield streets and roads during a snowstorm, the efforts of the DPW and private snowplow operators to clear the streets are all too often slowed. To solve this issue, the police department and the regional dispatch center want residents to know there is a way to immediately learn if a parking ban has been problem. What the hell does that mean?
I have no idea.
Code red.
Okay.
It's all about public safety, said Police Captain Steve Dickinson about the importance of keeping streets clear and signing up for the city's Code Red service, which is an emergency notification system used by the city to quickly alert residents about local events like severe weather, missing persons, evacuations, public health issues, and parking bans by phone, text, or email. Rolled out about over a year ago, 1,500 residents have signed up for the service, but of those, only about 600 have signed up to get the parking ban alerts. That's according to Nina Barses, the director of the Westfield Regional Public Safety Communications Center. Anyone who parks on the streets in the city should sign up for the parking notifications when signing up for the service. Why don't they just make it part of the service?
That's a good point. I don't actually know how, because I never parked on the street in Springfield. You know, when I've lived in town, a couple occasions, I never parked on the street. So I don't know how it works if you have to park on a busy street. I don't know if you have to call the police department and get or get permission, but it's not that hard to figure it out. And if it's snowing out, guess what? Get off the street.
Do you think Colonel Jessup McCabe ordered the code red?
He's probably got a phone in his office. No buttons. Just you pick it up.
I want the truth.
You can handle the truth.
When the snow starts falling and forecasts call for accumulation, plowing doesn't usually start until after it stops, which is the window of opportunity for residents to move their vehicles. And when plowing starts, there's always a coordinated effort between the plows and patrol officers to get vehicles off the streets. Dickinson said that if a resident's vehicle is parked on the street about to get plowed, officers will stop, check the status of the vehicle registration to determine the address of the vehicle owner, and knock on their door. If no one answers the door, the dispatch center will call the owner's number, and if no one answers, the officers are authorized to tow the vehicle. That's actually pretty gracious of them to do, because they don't have to do that, and that's kind of wasting the time of somebody who's on patrol. Like, now you got to go knock on somebody's door to tell them, hey, you should move your car. You should move your car no matter what. People are so lazy.
People complain about the Springfield DPW not plowing side streets after a big storm. But if you go down a lot of side streets and people are ignoring those parking bans, and you can barely get a plow down a street because all of a sudden a street becomes incredibly narrow, Fountain Street was always a famous one at Forest Park.
Yeah.
People would ignore the parking bans. They park on both sides of the street. You couldn't get a car through there, never mind a plow. But then occasionally you'd see some dope out there that didn't pay attention to the parking ban, and all of a sudden his car is covered in like 6 feet of ice.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? You kind of did that one to yourself. Hate to break it to you.
I used to, when I lived in Springfield, I remember, like, I lived in like a multifamily home, right?
Right.
So there was no parking in the driveway. The landlord was nice enough to say on the days that it did snow, hey, let's all I'll clear the driveway. You can all park in there while they clear the street, so you didn't have to worry about moving your car back and forth, around the street. And the amount of people who wouldn't move from one side of the street, exactly what you're saying. Then the plows would come down the street, plow the cars in because they're on the side of the street, and then you're still not getting all the cleanup done because somebody has to dig themselves out. Then they get the car out, and then you have a giant pile of snow where that car was. And finally, towards the end of the season, they started enforcing the parking ban, and tow trucks were showing up, and then people were running out of the house going, what are you doing? No, dude, what are you doing? Like, they've given you plenty of opportunity to move the car.
Yeah, and
they're not out to get you. This is why they're taking the extra step and finding out who you are and going to your door. They don't have to do that.
Your inability to follow the rules is making snow removal virtually impossible.
Yeah.
In some neighborhoods, because people completely ignore the whole parking ban thing.
And I get it. It's a big pain in the butt because you got it like. If cars are only allowed to park on one side of the street during certain hours, the parking is very limited. So you're going to have to walk maybe a few blocks back to your house. I get how inconvenient that is. But if you let them clear the street, then you'll be able to easily park back when the parking ban is over. This has been
not complicated.
This has been The More You Know with Steve Nagle. Because I'm so full of myself.
You're so full of yourself.
I am very full.
But thank you very much for that bit of advice.
A man was arrested and charged after officials claim he was running a cockfighting ring in a house on Chapin Terrace that was shut down last month by animal welfare officials. 36-year-old Juan Gabriel Pinero Perez was charged with 2 separate crimes, having too many names and animal fighting. That's a lot of names to have.
Yeah. Now, whereabouts on Chapin Terrace would this be?
Wherever Chapin Terrace is. How big is Chapin Terrace? I don't know.
Well, I mean, Chapin Terrace is, you're not far from Bay State. You're not far from Calhoun Park.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I've been very curious.
Anyway, he was charged with 2 separate crimes, animal fighting and in possession with intent to distribute, related to the cockfighting ring where the Mass Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals rescued and transported 65 birds to an undisclosed location in December. Perez is represented by Springfield defense attorney James Goodhines in both cases. Goodhines did not immediately return a request for comment. Court records show Perez was charged with animal fighting, which is a felony. On December 4th, Sergeant William Loisel, a MSPCA Angel law enforcement officer, filed an application for a search warrant to investigate possible violations. Loisel's request was approved, leading the police to carry out a warrant at 4 Chapin Terrace.
Got it.
In Springfield. MSPCA Angel declined to provide a copy of the search warrant. Upon their arrival, officers reportedly saw dozens of birds living in multiple structures in a manner commonly associated with cockfighting operations. That's a statement from the Animal Cruelty Prevention Agency in December. Cockfighting, which is illegal in the U.S., relies on cruelty for profit, says Chris Schindler, MSPCA law enforcement director, in an emailed statement Tuesday. It involves forcing 2 birds to fight, often to the death. For gambling and entertainment, the animals that survive often suffer severe injuries like punctured lungs, broken bones, and damage to their eyes. But otherwise, they're healthy animals.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get past all of that.
Police allegedly also found 4 grams of cocaine in the basement kitchen cabinet of the residence. Well, maybe that was for the birds.
That was for the winner.
What do you win? You win a whole thing of corn feed and a kilo of Coke. Personal items tied the defendant to the area, explaining that Perez had recently been placed on probation for a separate case and has a lengthy criminal record. His bail was set at $2,500 in cash for the drug charge. He'll be back in court on February 24th.
Yeah.
So,
well, I'm looking at the house, in this street view. I mean, it's a small, modest home. I mean, any number of things could be happening.
Is there a nice grotto behind there?
I don't see a grotto. I don't see like a place that I would say specifically for cockfighting. But
right.
You're just talking about two roosters. Bobbing, weaving, talking trash. It's really, how much space do you really need?
Does Jerry write bad checks too? Your Pioneer Valley forecast today is going to be cloudy with a chance of a spot shower this afternoon, high of 50. It is 37 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah.
Winter's coming fast.
Springfield's Classic Rock. It's just about 7:50, and Foreigner with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
It is going to be cloudy today with a high of 50. It is 37 right now in downtown Springfield.
This week in Baxi's musical podcast, my guest has been the legendary Brian Baker. This is a guy who has been playing forever with Bad Religion, also a member of Minor Threat, one of the most important punk bands, hardcore punk bands of all time, and a bunch of other stuff. He's a very diverse, really talented musician. He's got a brand new book out called The Road, which is a book of photographs that he's taken while he's been on tour over the last 20 some odd years. Really cool book, really great guy, and you can hear that interview on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, the YouTube channel on rock102.com, and also on the Rock 102 app. All brought to you by Metro Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram at Chicopee, and Rock 102 Springfield's Classic Rock.
I saw a guy out in public the other day using ChatGPT to ask questions to it while shopping.
Really?
In a grocery store.
Like what kind of questions?
What do you think the difference is between this and that? And I thought he was talking to a person, and then I realized that it was an AI voice talking back to him.
Really?
Yeah, talking about, different ingredients in this particular brand of macaroni that he was. It was weird. It was just a weird, situation. There's a lot of people are using that as a guide for their life.
So, in order to use that to maximize its ability, if it is ChatGPT is using, he's actually paying for the premium service to make simple choices at a grocery store.
I have no idea if he's paying for a premium service. I would imagine you would if you're.
If I got a whole list, I'm gonna need. Right. I'm going to need more opportunities to ask the questions.
And there's a lot of people that do rely on this, it's this the greatest thing that ever existed. Have you noticed that?
I have not gotten to that part in my life where I say this is the best thing I have. I'm not at that point. But
there are people that do.
I realize that, and I also realize that sometimes just making your own choices is every bit as good as using ChatGPT.
This story, though, a Dutch couple had their marriage annulled after the person officiating used a ChatGPT-generated speech that was intended to be playful but failed to meet legal requirements.
Really?
Yeah. According to a court ruling published this week, the pair from the city of Zwolle, whose names were redacted from the January 5th decision under Dutch privacy rules, argued that they intended to marry regardless of whether the right wording was used when they took their vows. According to the decision, the person officiating their ceremony last April 19th asked whether they would, quote, continue supporting each other, teasing each other, and embracing each other even when life gets difficult. The pair said, I do, and the officiant declared them not only husband and wife, but above all, a team, a crazy couple, and each other's love and home base. But the judge found that they had not actually sworn to fulfill their marriage duties, something that is required under Dutch law. So they didn't say whatever the wording is that you have to use when you're under Dutch rule.
Okay.
What to do. So he annulled the marriage.
I mean, there are, I've performed one and only one wedding as a ordained minister. I'm not looking to do many of those. But, I mean, there are requirements
Yeah.
that you have to fulfill.
Yeah, you have to say these certain words when
Yes.
you do it.
Whatever you say in between, I mean, that's where you can get a little creative and what have you, but there are some things that need to be said in order for it to be legally binding in whatever state you're performing the service.
You know, I've probably witnessed over 200 weddings and doing that DJ business for years. And every one of them, regardless of what words are said to, be special to that particular couple and moment.
Sure.
There is that legal thing at the end where they have to say, by the power invested in me by the Commonwealth of Massachusetts,
right.
whatever the Massachusetts law is on that. That's what makes it legal. And these people weren't. This guy wasn't following the rules of the Dutch law and decided, I'll just let ChatGPT write it for me.
But what's weird is in order for that to be true,
yeah,
someone would have had to call them out on it.
Somebody probably did.
You've been invited to a wedding, and they didn't do all the things that they had to do, and for whatever reason, you're the biggest jerk in the entire wedding party. And you're the one that turns them in?
Well, like the guy that officiated mine, all it was required on my half was to pay a fee and have him sign a piece of paper. Nobody was there going, he didn't say that word right or that particular language correctly. And who would have known if he did or not? You know what I mean? Like, at that point, I hadn't been to many weddings when I got married.
So when Jenny and I got married, it was the official was a guy I went to college with. He happened to be like a naval commander. So I mean, he's performed me. It's within his right to do.
He knows what he's doing.
The first time I got married in a Catholic church, and the priest said the wrong name for the bride.
Oh.
I mean, I could have played my cards right then and there, but I chose to let that thing go on for a long period of time.
Wrong name? All right, that's like poor preparation. If you're not writing it down, I understand if you have to read something off a piece of paper. Nobody's going to be. Not everybody's going to be able to remember something.
A lifelong parishioner.
Yeah.
In that church. You got the name wrong.
That is a really poor pastor.
Oh, there were a lot of problems that day.
Oh, I'm sure.
there were a lot of things to second guess.
But man, I can't believe it. See, it's okay to write things down. It's almost like, when you go to a restaurant and the server doesn't write anything down. That always gives me anxiety. You know why? Because most of the time they screw up whatever it is.
Yeah.
Because they can't remember everything. Stop trying to impress me with your photographic memory. Just write it down.
And you can write it down wherever. Like if I do an interview these days, so like I'll come up with 15, 20 questions.
Yeah.
But in the middle of that 15, 20 questions, I will, in big bold letters, the name, the band, and the record, just so I don't forget who I'm talking to.
And it's natural to forget because you do so many of them. Same with this priest who says the wrong name. If you do that many of them, you're bound to screw it up. Write it down on a piece of paper.
It's not that hard to do. That should be the other requirement. Get the names correct.
Yeah. But and stop relying on ChatGPT can screw it up too.
Of course it can.
Yeah.
Hey, big event coming to the Big E this weekend. The auto parts swap and sell coming to the Big E on the 17th and 18th. I believe that's Saturday, Sunday. Gonna be a big event. We happen to have a 4-pack of tickets to the 10th caller at 293-1021. Imagine you and the auto parts swap and sell. Good times for all.
What about the swap and spit? Do we have any tickets for that?
That is a different event,
all right.
And I don't believe we have to sell tickets for that.
All right.
So 293-1021, 10th caller. Good luck on Rock 102.
And now, Bax's View from the Couch. Brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware, Winter Storm headquarters before and after the storm.
Hey, good morning, sports fans. How the heck are you? Folks, as of right now, there are currently 10 head coaching positions available in the NFL. 10. There also happens to be 5 teams looking for new general managers, 10 vacancies around the league for offensive, defensive, and special teams coordinators. That's a total of 25 available positions. And while those jobs offer competitive pay and excellent benefits, the downside of working in the NFL is that you don't get to stay there forever. Yesterday, for example, Pittsburgh Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin announced that he'd be stepping down from his position after 19 seasons on the job. 19 consecutive winning seasons. 2 Super Bowl appearances, 1 Super Bowl championship, but not a single playoff win in 9 years, including Monday night's loss to Houston in the AFC wildcard game. This is a guy who had been the longest tenured head football coach in the NFL up until yesterday, when suddenly he wasn't. This now leaves Andy Reid of the Chiefs as the longest-serving active coach in the NFL after 15 years. It also leaves Eric Spoelstra of the Miami Heat as the longest currently active head coach in sports, having held that job for the last 18 years. Now, I don't know about you, but I happen to be a very big fan of regular paychecks. Paychecks that arrive every 2 weeks that are directly deposited into a federally insured financial institution. So if you were to ask me to drop everything I'm doing to become a head coach in the National Football League, then my answer to you would be not just no, my answer to you would be hell no. Listen, according to my calculations, I have approximately 2,069 days since I can retire from this godforsaken business, and in that span of time, the 10 teams that are currently hiring in the NFL could blast through another 30 to 40 coaches by then. And I think I'm being conservative. Either way, I think I'm better off staying put and milking this sucker for another 2,069 days. I think that's a much safer choice. But hey, enough of my yapping. Sports brought to you by Rocky's Ace Hardware. You know what you can fit in a 27-gallon storage tote from Rocky's? The 27 gallons of crap that have been piling up around the house since Thanksgiving. Rocky's shelving and storage totes available right now at your neighborhood Rocky's Ace Hardware. I'm Bax. That's my view from the couch.
Rock 102.
Rock 102, Springfield's Classic Rock. It's 8:11, and the Rolling Stones of Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Cloudy today with a high of 50. It is 30 right now in downtown Springfield.
Tomorrow on the show, Scott Zolak will be joining us. We'll be talking about Patriots football as they get set to take on Houston, and I believe there's a chance that Marty may be in tomorrow.
Who?
Marty Caproni. Talk about $20 dinner and a comedy show.
Never heard of that guy.
Never heard of him?
No.
Well, he's. I believe he may be here tomorrow.
I'm trying to find this story that I just found on. It was on 22 News, and now I don't know. It was about credit card fees. Did you read that story?
I did not.
About why is this so hard to find things again when you go back and look?
I don't know.
They were talking about putting in extra credit card fees that will be passed on to the consumer in order to make things cheaper at the stores, if that makes any sense.
What's the difference? You're still going to want to pay the same amount of money then?
Well, if you use a card.
Yeah, but a lot of places are discouraging, say, like the use of cash.
Right. So it's basically just more money that you're going to have to shell out anyway. Because if you think that a store is going to lower prices because they're not paying credit card fees, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the stores are going to keep charging the same amount of money. It's just like with the inflation thing. Like, nobody goes back to when you have all these like taxes and tariffs and all this other crap on goods. Even if those things were taken away, you don't think that you think the retailer is going to go, I'll just lower all the prices then. That's not going to happen.
No, it's going to stay.
It never happens.
At the most, it may stay the same, but you're still paying extra fees, which make me think that even the retailer gets a cut of that. I don't know, man. I understand how we're not using cash like we used to. I realize that people that are using credit cards and I get it. I understand it. I understand the ease of using it. But if you're paying, a high percentage rate on a credit card, plus an annual fee, plus an additional fee if they wind up figuring out a way to do that, then think about if you were to track like all your purchases, if you went on all your statements and you tracked all your statements and you saw how much you were paying over the course of a year in fees and interest.
Yeah.
You realize how much money is being lost as a result of that.
Oh, yeah.
you start to think, hey, maybe cash is maybe a better idea.
Yeah, but they're doing away with cash. And this is what this article is about. I finally found it. As consumers continue to turn away from using cash, businesses say credit card fees are hampering their margins. On Wednesday, a bill to allow businesses to charge customers paying with cards for those fees moved out of committee with a favorable recommendation from senators. Senators on the Committee on Consumer Protection drafted the bill that would allow sellers to charge customers paying with a credit card a fee that is no greater than the seller's cost to process the payment. If the bill passes, Massachusetts would join most states with laws allowing businesses to charge credit card surcharge fees. I thought they already do that, though. When you go into a store, they changed that law. It says if you're paying with card, it's going to be like, I don't know, 10%, whatever it is, it's going to be. So how is this any different?
Because I think that's based on like the individual business deciding to do that, as opposed to it being law.
Yeah, but it's law that it's okay for them to do that.
But there's no law restricting or overseeing how much someone can charge you for it. Either way, the consumer is the one who's getting ripped off here.
Yeah, the bill, which draws from 3 proposals, also requires sellers to notify customers of the credit card surcharge for in-person online purchases and transactions made over the phone. Those underlying proposals were respectively sponsored by, and they list all the people that sponsored it, Senator Pavel Payano, the committee's co-chairperson, said the bill offers a practical path forward.
For who? Practical for the retailer or practical for the consumer? It probably ain't going to be practical for the consumer at all.
One that supports our small businesses while making sure consumers are clearly and proactively informed about surcharges. Why don't you do things that are friendly for the small businesses to begin with, like not charging them exorbitant fees? You talk to like bar owners and things like that.
Yeah.
People just assume that, oh, well, this place is busy. The guy must be making a lot of money. And then you talk to these business owners and they're like, yeah, well, we got to pay food service fees. We have to pay, this particular tax for this business. We have to pay BMI and ASCAP fees for running a jukebox in our business, which is ridiculous.
If we have live music, we have to pay for like an entertainment license.
Yeah. I mean, so why don't you make it easier for the business that way versus passing along fees to the consumer?
See, I mean, I realize that this is going to sound incredibly naive because credit cards don't operate this way. But if you are already being charged as a consumer a certain interest rate, why doesn't the credit card company just back out some of that money to pay for the fees that you would normally pay or be required of a retailer?
See, this guy says currently it is against the law in Massachusetts for a business to charge a fee for using a credit card. But you see it all the time, though. It says this fee will be different if you pay with a card. And the same with the gas pumps. If you pay, there's plenty of gas stations that if you pay with credit versus cash, there's a difference in price.
There's a difference, yeah.
So I don't know how it's illegal. If it's illegal, then why is it happening? See, this is, too many people... It's hard to find the truth of anything.
Of course
anymore.
It is. And unfortunately, you're never going to have uniformity until someone says, "Oh, let's get a bill passed on this." Then maybe it's a uniform situation. But the reality is if as a consumer, if I'm going to get charged for using the credit card, I would like to see in my statement that it's 2 separate transactions. Mm-hmm. So at least I can see what I'm being charged. As opposed to, I make one transaction and they'll both the cost of what I'm buying and the transaction fee are all rolled into one. So I'm not sure who is charging me what and how much. It would be great to see that all broken down to you, so that way you can make a qualified choice. Hey, do I want to go with a credit card here, or am I just better off with cash? Because honestly, cash is face value of the cash. Credit cards with fees and interest and additional overcharges, starting to get a little bit out of hand.
The, the elimination of cash is not about convenience. It's about tracking people, how much they're spending, and your government wanting a bigger piece of that.
Sure.
You pay people Venmo or you pay people, whatever.
Listen, everybody's trying to dip into your pocket when it comes to you purchasing anything.
Yeah.
That's why there's taxes on things. That's why you have fees. That's why you have, interest rates. Everyone's trying to dip into your pocket. When you look at what you are spending and what you are losing by spending what you think you're spending, you're starting to realize, hey, you know what? There's a real big tipping point here where it may not be worth using a credit card for. And for those businesses that are only credit card, like an only credit card business, and they're not taking cash, I'm going to tell you, I find that to be sometimes wicked annoying.
All right, so there's another guy says the previous text you talk about is correct. It is illegal to search or to surcharge for using a credit card at gas stations. Post both prices, which is legal. Municipalities can charge it. I still don't understand that. They're exempt. The government can surcharge. They're exempt. There is a law on the books and says the menu price has to be the credit card price. I still don't get that. The law hasn't been enforced.
So that's basically it.
Technically, it's against the law for a business to say minimum credit card amount are $5 or $10 at convenience stores. It's just totally lacking enforcement against it from happening. Okay, so we're not enforcing the law that's already there. We're just going to make a new law.
Well, that's how we make laws. If the laws we have are no longer adequate nor being enforced, let's make a new law that won't be enforced.
This is why I don't even get involved in any of this stuff, because they just make it too confusing for everybody to follow along and understand.
Yeah.
Anything.
The only thing you need to understand is you're being charged way too much for everything you need.
Well, the good news is grocery store chain Aldi is expanding rapidly and plans to open more than 180 U.S. stores this year as more Americans skip nights out at restaurants and cook at home due to anxiety over the economy. The chain, with U.S. operations based outside of Chicago, went on an expansion tear soon after inflation began to spike in 2021 and opened a record number of new stores last year. So basically, they're saying that they're seizing the moment in the era of higher prices.
I got to tell you, I have had pretty good luck at an Aldi's. I mean, it's a different kind of experience, and you may not be able to find everything you need, but I got to tell you, most of the time, I do okay.
They do have some brand names there, but then like the rest of them, it's like instead of Cocoa Puffs, it's chocolatey puffed corn.
Chocolate nuggets. Yeah, right.
Yeah. See, those are the same. It's like Costco selling their own Kirkland brand, but it's the same. It's probably made by the same person.
Right.
Yeah.
But again, do you want to spend top dollar at some other place, or you want to catch a break from time to time?
Sometimes you don't have the option, though.
I know.
Like you said the other day, you were looking for something, and you had to go to another store that gouged the crap out of you.
But I had to do it.
Yeah.
I had to do it. And then I saw the punchkis. I had to buy the punchkis.
All right. Well, that's acceptable.
That's acceptable because they're not selling punchkis at the Aldi's.
Are they making them there at the store?
Yeah.
The punchkis?
I believe so.
Or are they coming from a local bakery?
I believe they are making them there.
Really?
Yes.
And it's only it's like the Girl Scout.
So it's a limited time.
Wow.
Yeah. Up until,
by the way, I heard your conversation about the Girl Scout cookies the other day.
Yeah.
They should really come up with a new fundraiser.
What's wrong with they make a fortune on those cookies?
Because they're overpriced and you're getting a lot less than you used to. And Dollar General sells those generic ones that taste exactly the same as the Girl Scout ones. So if you really like those, you can go to Dollar General and get the generic ones, and then maybe come up with a different type of fundraiser that people would enjoy.
Listen, I get it, and there are other ways of doing a little bit of everything, but I mean, let's be quite honest. While they may not be as big as they used to be, people look forward to those cookies.
Do they really?
They do. That makes a lot of money for the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, but instead of do-si-dos, what is a do-si-do, by the way? What is it? Which one?
I don't remember which one's a do-si-do or a tag-along or whatever. Yeah. They're all different.
Or like a Samoa.
Oh, I love those.
Right, with the coconut.
Coconut. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, at Dollar General, they're coconut Hawaiians. That's what they are. Yeah, you come up with a different name. Thin mints are really, really tiny mint-flavored cookies.
It's 8:24 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. 8:30 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102. It's time for news brought to you by Bond 124 Gastropub in Somers, Connecticut. Open daily. Here's local radio icon Steve Nagle.
Thank you, Bax. A multi-car crash at Walter and Main Streets in Springfield on Tuesday night caused heavy traffic delays. The Western Mass news crews arrived at the intersection just before 5 p.m., where they were able to see debris scattered around the intersection and multiple cars off the side with visible damage.
Steve, I believe it's pronounced debris.
I don't know. Have you watched this newscast before?
I have.
At the time, traffic was being redirected to one lane, but started clearing up as soon as their crew was leaving. Oh, man, they missed all the good stuff.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
City officials say that one person was brought to the hospital, but is expected to be okay. So that's the good part. Is that everybody's going to be okay.
That's good.
Let's see. Emergency crews in South Hadley were responding to reports of someone in the river. The South Hadley Fire District 2 said that firefighters and EMS from their districts responded to Canal Street to assist the South Hadley Fire District 1. This is not the most recent update. I believe they did find the person, and the condition of the person is unknown at this time.
Okay.
So... I don't know. Connecticut cannabis sales declined in 2025 despite December marking their highest month since the recreational use became legal. According to new state data, state records showed that Connecticut retailers sold about $290 million worth of cannabis in 2025. That's a lot of weed.
That's a lot of weed.
That was slightly below the 2024 total of $293 million. For years, retailers have said some customers head out of state to Massachusetts for cheaper options. Cannabis comes with a high price tag in Connecticut, and much of it because of taxes. Adult-use cannabis was approved in 2021. 1 year later, retail stores were cleared to open. Now there are 61 licensed cannabis retailers across the state. Nearly half of them, 29 stores, are approved to sell both medical and recreational cannabis. That number is expected to grow after a state law passed that allows more retailers to sell both. Customers pay 3 separate taxes at checkout: the state's standard 6.35% sales tax, an additional 3% local tax, and a THC base tax that can add another 10 to 15% of the final price.
Jeez.
Wow. That's like 25%. For
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've also talked about how the price at dispensaries has really gone down like significantly from when they started to open, and so a lot of these places are opening up, and they're not doing as great as I think they were expecting to do because there's so many other options, and they're all kind of selling pretty much the same thing.
They're absolutely right about the price going down. Here, in this state, you can pick up a J, man, for like $5 now. And when they originally came on the scene, they were selling them for like $20.
Yeah,
plus the taxes and all that stuff. But now, since it's so readily available. New York State's the same way. I saw a bunch of them throughout Buffalo the other day. They're
everywhere.
They're on every corner.
Yeah.
So whenever another state allows for recreational use, then these things just pop up like little plants.
Well, I mean, not to say that it's an overexposed market, but when you allow that many licenses to be dished out, did nobody expect that it would change the dynamics of the financials here? Because it would seem to me the more product that's out there and available, the only way to compete is to lower your prices.
Yeah.
If I got 4 or 5 dispensaries to choose from, I'm going to go to the one that's got the better price.
What I've noticed though is even from state to state, there's only a finite number of growers.
Well, that's the other part.
And operators. So like INSA, they operate in Pennsylvania,
Yeah.
And, a couple of other states. So you're getting the same thing when you go across the state lines.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's not like, it's not like you're at the point where people say, well, ours is so much better. This is a higher end type of cannabis. We just happen to be getting it from the same grow facility as everybody else.
My amusement comes from the names of some of these, like, strains.
Mm-hmm.
And like the straight face coming from the retailer. I go in and be like, hey, what do you think? What do you think is a really good relaxing wood? Well, have you ever tried Alaskan Thunder F? And they don't abbreviate F. They say the whole thing. And I'm like, who came up with that? Like, who was the person that came up with the weird names for these strains?
Yeah.
Like, it's
like elderly people walking in there because they got some sort of infirmity, and like I need the Alaska Thunder F, please.
Yeah, right. Like the old guy.
Yeah, let me push my walker over to the register. Yeah.
Excuse me, boy. I'll take one joint of the Alaskan Thunder F.
Do you have any more of the Guatemalan Donkey Punch?
Yeah, right. Where's the Mississippi finger pie?
Listen, I can't get to sleep without a Colombian Donkey Punch.
Can I?
I'm having a real problem staying asleep all night long.
Can you give me the Cleveland Screamer? What about the pumpkin bumpkin?
I'm going to need a Mississippi mudslide if I'm going to get over this pain in my shoulder blade.
The funny thing is we have a guest coming in.
Oh, I know. A sophisticated one, too, from Symphony.
Yeah. But it is kind of amusing to see the different names of these things. And it's like, why did you just say it's either good or bad? Like good weed or bad weed? In high school, there was no, Acapulco Gold or something was like I got some of that Acapulco Gold. Or you can get Stanley's weed from growing it in his mom's basement.
But back when we were younger, if there's someone in the neighborhood that was selling it, it's like, oh yeah, this guy sells the good stuff. He's got a cousin who knows a guy who went on a road trip with this other guy, and they went to Mexico to get this stuff, and apparently it's all laced with rat poison.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the good stuff.
Yeah, but you don't want this other guy. You don't want Mitch's weed because that's pencil shavings in a bag with oregano. It's not real, dude. Alaskan Thunder F.
Oh, that's the good stuff.
Here's, if not another reason for me not to go on a cruise. Health officials say dozens of people aboard a cruise ship based in Florida have been sickened in a reported norovirus outbreak. According to the CDC, more than 90 people aboard a Holland America Cruise Line ship reported symptoms of gastrointestinal illness. Those affected by the outbreak showed typical symptoms of vomiting and diarrhea. The reported illness occurred on the Holland America Line cruise ship Rotterdam during its voyage between December 28th and January 9th. According to Cruise Mapper, the ship began in Fort Lauderdale and had scheduled stops that included Colombia, Costa Rica, and Jamaica. The CDC's latest report listed 85 passengers and 9 crew members with symptoms. Health officials said crew members responded with increased cleaning and disinfection procedures and isolated affected passengers and crew. The cruise line said most of the cases were mild and resolved quickly. The CDC says norovirus is the leading cause of vomiting and diarrhea of foodborne illness in the country, affecting people of all ages. Proper hand washing and other simple steps can help prevent it. You know what else it is? It's people who don't want to cancel their vacation because even though they're sick. They might have this disease.
Yeah, going on. Yeah.
Going on the ship, but like, how many people do you know they're like, oh, I got a little cold. I'm still going to go, though. And people do it.
Yeah. Well, I got to tell you, most of the sickness that happens on these cruise ships are often alcohol-induced.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you could say, oh, I wasn't drunk. I must have the norovirus. It wasn't those 15 Bahama Mamas and these coconuts full of rum. I must have the rotavirus.
I remember, like, when we went to Aruba, and everybody's like, don't drink the water in Aruba. It'll make you sick. And then somebody comes up with it. And it's clearly like this urban legend.
Yeah.
You know, if you drink alcohol, though, that kills whatever virus it is that is in the water. So as long as you're drinking plenty of alcohol, you're killing whatever disease comes through the tap water in Aruba.
Yeah.
That's not true.
Meanwhile, you're like Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, just sitting there on the toilet exploding for 25 minutes. It is...
Yeah, that's all right.
Wasn't it called Poop Cruise, the name of the documentary?
Yes.
Where all the power went out and the toilets weren't working and these people are like, and there was eventually sickness because of this.
Yeah, because
of the power outage.
And you can't really hang off the side of the boat and relieve yourself that way without running the risk of dying.
But one of the dumbest decisions by the cruise company was said, hey, you know what? Let's open all the bars up. And they let people drink for free. And then they said people were getting crazy wild because you got cabin fever. You're out in the middle of this the ocean. You can't get back to port.
It takes forever for them to get to your boat.
Yeah,
no, it's a lot.
And these people are like, exposing themselves. They're having activities.
Oh, they would do that on any normal cruise.
I know, but like when you got like all that, how can you be in the mood when you got like toilets overflowing on a cruise ship?
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah. I hear you.
Gross. You're and by the way, we have a guest coming up. Your Pioneer Valley forecast today, cloudy with a high of 50. Tomorrow, mix of sun and clouds with a high of 43. It is 41 right now in downtown Springfield. I'm Steve Nagle, and that's the news on Rock 102. Oh, yeah. John Hazen here. Right.
Rock 102, Springfield's classic rock. It's 8:49 and ZZ Top with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.
Let's see. Cloudy today with a high of 50. It's 41 in downtown Springfield. I used to have a bong that I called Motown because it kept banging out the hits. Speaking of Motown.
All right. Welcome, everybody.
Yes. In the studio from the Springfield Symphony, it's Heather Case Roberts. Good to see you again.
It's so great to be here and learning so much this morning.
Well, we're happy to educate you in the way that you would educate music lovers.
The more you know. It's truth. It's the truth.
You guys got a great show coming up on the 17th. What is
no
this?
bongs, though, unfortunately.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Well, maybe before the show or after the show.
Hey, no judgment there, but
right.
yes.
Well, an oboe kind of looks like a big...
A little, I guess. We could probably get there. We could get there.
Anything can be a bong. You try hard enough.
Music, guys.
The name of the show is Let's Groove Tonight, Motown, the Philly Sound. Tell us a little bit about what's going up.
Yeah, we're so excited to have William Waldrop conducting the Springfield Symphony Orchestra this Saturday, the 17th at 7:30, Symphony Hall. We are going to be jamming and grooving to some of the biggest hits from the Motown and Philly Sound era. I mean, these songs shaped generations, like Sly Stone, where like, I heard it through the grapevine, all that fun stuff.
Are you going to be singing too?
Obviously.
Yeah,
no,
right,
I actually have been told I'm not allowed to because people would return their tickets.
Not even from the back row?
Always from the background.
Yeah, you have to.
Leave it to the professionals, right?
That's what they think.
Saying?
That's what they think.
Yeah.
But really, it's a nice harmony that we have going on.
So. But you mentioned the guest conductor who has done other shows, but you've also got a couple other guests that are coming into town too.
We have 3 guest artists, singers that will be joining us, and 2, I think it's percussionists that will also be backing up a 58-person orchestra. So when you hear these songs, it is going to be unlike you've ever heard before. They're going to have full string sections and incredible percussion. And these singers are no joke. They've been singing with Lizzo. We have Grammy Award winners on there. They're releasing their own albums. These people can bring a house down. So I'm encouraging people to come and sing loudly and to dance in the aisles and to actually feel the energy, because I think we all need some real goodness in our lives right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive to see, so much talent come together at once in one room and just
it's pretty incredible when
rock the house.
That first note hits, you can actually feel the energy shift in the room because it's so loud and so powerful, and you sort of go, whoa. Here we are.
I mean, and you're also focusing, not necessarily on classical pieces here.
Right.
These are popular songs that have, sold millions of copies. They're part of our culture.
They changed generations. They shaped pop music now.
Without a doubt.
These are the songs that let people share messages and sort of really change how we looked at different areas of this country, but also just different populations of people.
I mean, if you're I have a bunch of records at home.
I love that.
I got some music at the house, but for every classic rock record I've got like the Marvin Gayes, and I've got the Diana Rosses and the Temptations and the Spinners and Curtis Mayfield and all of that stuff. To understand that music is really kind of a way to really understand who we are as a people, because this is music that's just it's so powerful and so beloved that it's great to see it interpreted by a symphony orchestra, but at the same time really kind of giving a contemporary spin on it too.
Absolutely. It's such a cool way to be introduced to symphonic music, but in a way that you recognize and so that it feels a little bit more familiar, a little bit more accessible. But what's incredible is the way that these musicians get up there and they can transition from playing Bach to Marvin Gaye, just like that. And you'll see their feet starting to move. You kind of like see the strings players a little bit, the horns players, and it's just, it's a beautiful, beautiful energy. And while this music wasn't written hundreds of years ago, it was written in a time that feels very similar to where we are right now.
It's funny because I think some people have this opinion of like a symphony orchestra, playing music from the 1500s. Everyone's kind of uptight,
a little crusty, and
I mean, I've known some classical musicians that when you actually talk about what they listen to, it's not always Beethoven and Mozart. I mean, I've known some classical musicians that are like big Iron Maiden fans.
Oh yeah, they want to get up there and rock too. And what a cool way to merge two very different genres.
Yeah, no, it's totally
it's
cool.
Talent, it's art. What they can do is incredible, and the appreciation to be able to go from these classical pieces to a Motown piece, or even pop covers. There's orchestral covers now of Taylor Swift and Linkin Park and all of these other pop groups. So it's really interesting to watch how this is going to sort of change the dynamic of what we continue to do.
There's no Springfield Symphony Orchestra, Creed, or Nickelback plans in the future, right? Or no Coldplay for crying out loud?
I'm not at liberty to say. Coldplay only if you guys are coming with your side pieces.
I will not step foot in the orchestra. That's a good. I like that.
That's very good.
I
Didn't expect you for that one. That's good.
No problem.
I will not step foot into a symphony until they bring the Nickelback symphony orchestra.
All right, fine, heard.
But this is also happening during the Martin Luther King holiday weekend, and you're also going to have the MLK Junior Family Services there as well.
They're our community partner for this concert. We absolutely love the MLK Center. We love working with Shannon and Claudia and the entire team there. They're going to be there sharing what services they offer Springfield. I think I mentioned it last time. One of the biggest things we're doing right now at the Symphony is to make sure people understand how important it is to have that and to all work together and to be on the same page and collaborate. So we're so excited to show them off. We have the Stone Soul group with us. We're going to be honoring 6 of their Stone Soul Award winners this Saturday as well. So there's, and in a really cool market upstairs in the Mahogany Room.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, lots of local owned small businesses.
Very cool.
You got some other pretty cool things coming up too. And on February 14th, the Planet Earth, the Symphonic Journey. This is like a whole multimedia type of thing. Tell me about that.
Really incredible AV element, which I know, again, it's sort of pushing that box between tradition and what can we do now with all of this crazy technology. But it is a U.S. world premiere with Johan de Mej. He will be here. It is going to be absolutely epic. The images that will be played along with the music are just timed up in such a way that it's you'll be awestruck. And it's a really cool way to experience Symphony Hall with some visual elements as well, with a big screen that comes down. And it's going to be a good one. We're really looking forward to this back half of the season in 26 as we get ready to launch into next year.
Again, this weekend, the 17th, Let's Groove Tonight, Motown, the Philly Sound. We actually have a pair of tickets to give away.
Yes, we do.
10th caller, 293-1021. Yeah, that'll be a great show.
Thank you.
Heather Roberts, great to have you.
Love
Best of luck
being here.
this weekend.
Thank you so much. Thanks,
Anytime.
guys. Yes.
It's 8:57 with Bax and Nagle on Rock 102.